Okay, so first up, and not necessarily anything to do with appearance or whatever, but our Thakur. Can we have our first panelist? He's the Thakur, he's the MD. Pankaj Chaturvedi, please. Next up, I'd like to call upon Gabbar Singh. Again, not to do with size. In fact, he's the opposite of Gabbar Singh. He's the kindest soul that you'll ever find. Can we have Rohit Sangwan, Area Culinary Director, West IHCL, and Executive Chef, Taj Land's End. After that, how can we not have Jay and Viru? So can we have Viru, please? Vinesh Johnny on stage. Chef Ajay, can we have you on stage, please? And of course, there's only one lady in the panel. I have to call her Basanti. Basanti, can we have pastry chef Tejasvi Chandela on stage, please? Everyone mentioned Indian desserts, and something that I find very interesting is that in today's Instagrammable world, you of course have all the international desserts that look fantastic. Do you see that that trend happening to the Indian desserts too? And what I mean to say is that a jalebi or a halwa, they have not yet, I think, kind of been made Instagrammable as yet. When you compare it to the Western desserts, do they need to? Or is it just about the taste and the culture and the emotions that come along with it? I mean, of course, Ajay, you did mention, sorry, that, it is happening and you have the Bombay Sweet Shop and you have everyone doing it, but still, I don't find it as much as what you find in the Western or the Western desserts.
I think leaving apart the story of why it's not happened, but I think eventually it will. And the only thing that I think we will have to change as a country is the namkaran of the things. Matlab, thekua, why? It's such a great thing, You look at a British shortbread and look at thekua, technically it's the same. One is baked, one is fried. But naam thoda acha rakh sakte the na? Thekua. Kyun? So I think that has to become different. And then as chefs, we have to take that thekua and start using it in such a way that it becomes Instagrammable. I think that's where the whole journey now will begin or begun already.
It's like the whole haldi shift that happened when Starbucks kind of made it into...
I think it's also to do with a skill set. Indian sweets is a very different skill set. It takes a lot of time and effort to learn. I don't think there's a professional setup for you to learn how to make Indian sweets. And that's probably the biggest challenge to even start. Like now there were 4 schools that you would be able to put up that teaches patisserie professionally, but is there a school that teaches Indian sweets for people to be able to then learn and then innovate on? So it starts from there.
I agree with him. I actually started educating students in Spain about Indian mithais, because when I was invited to EPGB to give my first masterclass there, I was like, what will I teach the Europeans that they don't already know? And that's when it hit me. I'm like, okay, first I need to study about the mithais of my country, and once I can master it, I can then teach other people. So I'm trying my little bit to get the word out there through social media, through my classes. So yeah.
You did the most difficult of the Indian mithais, the son papdi.
Yes, I did. I attempted
in that place. I think that was commendable.
There was a thank you, chef. There's a very fine line between doing a rasmalai cake and a gulab jamun cheesecake. No offense to them. Those that are making it, I'm sure, are earning the big bucks. But I wanted to attempt something a little bit more technical, a little bit more challenging, something that's not easily made at home. So I tried the ghevar, I tried making son papri, burnt my hands a million times, but then when you make it and it comes out the way it does, it's amazing. It's a great feeling. And even the people, somehow everyone looks at you like, oh my God, you're this magician that's created God knows what. And yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you. And I did tell you that I happened to be in Jaipur and I visited your place, and I absolutely loved everything that was in the offering.
Thank you so much.
Rohit, what do you think?
So I feel as a country we don't have the data. You don't need to worry about the feed. You understand people with how much sweets are fed in this country. It's way too much than what all of us can think together. With the millions of people eating those sweets and carrying them back home. It's just that we don't have the data. I don't know if any study has been done how much jalebis are consumed in this country. You'll be shocked. I think it'll be much more than anything else across the world. So do you need Instagram to teach us? Maybe not. That's another view. So that's what I feel. It can be a parallel market which is already running, and we have to make sure that it does well. And we have to stay with our traditions, and the time will come. Don't worry, it's about to reach the optimal. So be optimistic.
Yeah, thank you, Chef. Thank you. But I do agree, Ajay, in your presentation, whatever you spoke for a little while, that it is important, though India, yes, we understand jalebis and rabris of the world are very, very popular. But we need to give a little kind of a zen to this entire Indian dessert. And that day, me and Ajay were talking about, how difficult it is to make your Indian mithais popular across the world. And I think that's something what we need to do as Indian chefs and Indian, how to put that zen into this entire thing, how to westernize a little bit, in order to make it more accessible for people in probably Europe or US or Canada or across the world. So I think that is something what is missing, and we as companies like Riches and all, we are always into innovations of such products, and would love to have some good inputs from you guys to innovate something for this world.
Yeah. So I think just bridging the gap of what Tejasvi just said, that she gave herself into learning the art versus what Pankaj is saying about how can we create Zen. I think there's a very important bridge that needs to be built, because if you look at Indian cuisine 20 years back, we hardly had any data in terms of how recipes were made. Ustad ji said, "Itna dala to dala." अब देखो तुम decide करो. There was no science behind it, but then a generation came which started to chronicleize in a scientific manner why प्याज को caramelize करते हैं, फिर मटन डालते हैं. There is a science behind it. Once you understand the science, you understand the recipe. I think pastry is all about science, and so is halwai. But if I talk to a halwai today, and most of them, the great ones, come from Rajasthan, and you can't understand their language, and gunda bani gyo. Chido ho gayo, chido. So how do you understand that? So I actually had to be with them, understand their language, work with them, and then, become their part of their clan, and then they will accept you, and then they will start sharing their secrets with you. And that is why you take those secrets and you start making it more scientific, making it more chronicalized, and making it like a recipe. That's how you can pass it to the next generation. Otherwise, it's just going to become like, a sweet dream.
No, I think some very, very valid points. And really, we're talking about the Indian desserts, but now we are talking about the next decade in the dessert industry as a whole, not necessarily India. I mean, India being a part of that. So do you see any innovations and trends that you think will define the dessert industry over the next 10 years? Something that you see happening globally, something that you see happening in India? Vinesh?
Yeah, it's a difficult question to ask when you say 10 years from now. I mean, you barely know what's going to happen 3 months from now. But that being said, I feel like a safe bet to think that would stick around would be the classics. Like you said, what has been around for 50 years, tiramisu, black forest, chocolate cake, cheesecake, all of that would still be around. And mostly it's trying to perfect those recipes, finding it more... just generally raising the bar across all the cafes and pastry shops to have a certain quality, because now there is there are some places that are artisanal, some places that are doing these desserts in a certain quality, and then there are also places that don't live up to those standards. I feel like premiumization is something that's going to kick in. Everybody would expect a certain quality of products that needs to be available, and also the customers are going to demand for that high quality ingredients. And I think that's where it's going to be 10 years from now in India.
Ajay?
I think what Sanjana brought out was fantastic. You know, she said now pastries become accessible, and I think that's the future of India, because India is such a large market that, you know, it starts trickling. Either the classes trickle something down and the masses follow, or the masses pick up something and make it unique, and, you know, they start jumping behind it. So I think 10 years, like Vinay said, is a long time for a country like ours, but accessibility of high quality ingredients, accessibility of high quality pastries. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we have La Folies in every corner of, or desserts being on every corner of India. You know, because the accessibility and the need. Yeah, which brand of ghee? Is Rich starting a ghee brand? He's against the fresh dairy module, though.
No, just to build on what. Yeah.
Yeah, please,
Yeah,
which is why I
Nisha.
said, can we have a mic in the audience, please? Because this should be very, hang on.
Until the time the mic goes, I feel, Chef, just to build on what you said and what the question was asked, I feel plant-based ingredients, clean label, as what I saw in presentation, what Ziba was presenting. I think those are the trends which are going to come very soon. They are not fads. They are real. Sustainability is going to be a very, very important factor for a company like ours who believe in, you know, honesty of the ingredient. Premiumization, as you said, Chef, that's going to be very, very important for times to come. Yes, 10 years is too long, but in shorter time, in near future, I'm sure these are the trends which are going to pick up, and they will become the base of each and every desserts for that matter.
Nisha?
I'm looking at, I'm looking at the diabetes capital of the world, and I'm thinking when I am hosting luxury events, there was a time that the dessert buffet would be cleaned out, and today everything is left. Very few people gravitate to desserts because they're looking at their derriere and their waist. So I'm looking at also wellness as a big trend going down 10 years, where people are looking to have dessert and have the joy of dessert, but having date-based and natural jaggery-based sugars, which are not unhealthy, or even sugar substitutes like agave. So obviously you all know better, but I still feel that wellness is a very big trend that intertwines itself into dessert, because there's more and more conversations around the big C being, you know, one of the triggers being sugar. So if you're looking at 10 years down the line, people like you who are trend makers in desserts have to watch out for that one thing. It's becoming bigger and bigger.
Is that anyway happening? I mean, I'm sure that there are two kinds of people who consume desserts, right? One who don't want any kind of substitution, and the others do. And I think Nisha did raise a very valid point. We've been noticing this. So how does that impact each one of you? And you know, like a company like Taj, for example, how does it impact a company like Taj?
So I'll give you an example which happened right today. So what ma'am was saying, it's absolutely true. I think Indian sweets, Indian mithais will start moving towards more fruit-based stuff. Why Europeans don't like what we have as Indian mithais, for that matter, is the amount of sweet it has. So gulab jamun or a barfi or balushai or anything is the amount of sugar. If we can control that, I think there's a bigger market. Plus, I think the fruit sugar will factor in, because what you said is absolutely right. Today only they were showing me the trials for the chocolate shop, and I said, let's make everything sugar-free here. Complete. So anybody who wants, you don't have to come and see that this is there. I have only 2 things left on the buffet which I have to choose from, or I have to buy. So they just come, they just take everything from here and go. Whatever they like. It can be Indian mithai, it can be a kalakand, it just has fruit sugar in it, which works, and it will work, trust me, in time to come. The appetite, as she was mentioning, the sugar cap, the diabetic capital of the world, and all these heart diseases and things like this happening, I think there will be a complete shift to the pastries what we are going to be eating, or desserts what we are going to be eating in next 10 years.
Tejasvi?
I mean, I agree and I disagree. I feel like it completely depends on the kind of brand that you're trying to build. There is a segment, absolutely, that requires sugar-free pastries and sweets, confectioneries, etc. But there is also a huge market that will always want your classics, and they'll want a pastry to taste the way it should. It is very difficult as a pastry chef to constantly keep innovating in this. It is very tricky because it's very hard for you to make a classic pastry taste exactly the way it should if it were to be sugar-free. It is very tough. So yeah, I mean, I do see it coming in the next 10 years. What 10 years? It's already come. But now, just imagine your quintessential mithai, right? For it to be completely sugar-free. I feel like there is a market for it, but there's also a market for the regular sweets that people have been eating all their lives. Depends on the kind of brand that you're trying to build, is what
it's a
I'm
trend,
getting to.
and it's something that we are watching out for, because
Yes.
as somebody who's your consumer and somebody who's hosting mega events for luxury brands,
Yes.
I see so many people not wanting to gravitate to your regular quintessential dessert. So if
Yes.
Gaurav is talking trends, this is a big trend.
Absolutely, I agree with you
Yeah.
there. It is, definitely.
I think future-wise, if today it's 10%, it probably in the next 5 years it'll probably go to 50%, which is a
Yeah.
huge shift. But what Tejasvi is saying, that the 50% will still remain. We are a country who loves everything else, but when it comes to craving, bhad mein gaya sab kuch. There are people who wear red shoes and there are people who don't wear red shoes.
I want to second what you said, and Tejasvi. Undoubtedly, I have tried my hands with sugar-free. I was working for Baskin Robbins ice creams. I launched a sugar-free ice cream. It flopped completely. I tried to make a sugar-free topping. It flopped completely. Because my 40 years of food and beverage experience says that if it is sweet, if it is dessert, it is indulgence. And when indulgence comes in, no one bothers about, your weight or diabetes or whatever. But I do agree with Nisha. What she says is that, yes, as industry leaders, we must make our attempts to make products a little healthy. And as I said, the clean label part and sustainability part and all those efforts we should make. But Tejasvi, I kind of completely agree with you that it's very, very difficult to replace sugar. Chef.
I think 10 years down the line, the chef who will get the award will be the chef whose pastry you can taste without indulging in sugar. Will be the chef of the future, trust me. Whosoever does it, out of maybe this segment or the segment which is waiting outside to enter this. That's what I feel. I'll give you a very simple example. It's no brand which I'm going to be promoting or something. I love eating cookies or biscuits with my chai. So there's this brand, I don't know anybody has heard of it. I order it 10, 12 boxes. It's called Perry's Bakehouse somewhere in Bangalore. It came on Instagram. So they have one cookie which is an atta cookie without sugar. Trust me, it's as close to you don't need jaggery also for that, because jaggery is pretty much the same as sugar. It's just helping your head that I'm eating jaggery. So that's about it. Somewhere if jaggery improves the taste of the end product, please do it. But personally, I will suggest make things where, like I'll give you an example. In our Indian restaurant, there's a rabdi which we give. Do you know the rabdi doesn't have any sugar in that? And everybody, even on Shahi Tukda, that same rabdi is used. Till the time people ask, we don't tell them it's sugar-free. If you eat that rabdi, eat that with anything, whatever you want, you won't come to know that there's no sugar in this rabdi. Trust me, it's as good. on the purity of milk and purity of ingredient which you use to make your products. That will factor in, rather than saying that we can't do it, but we will have to do it because the country is going that manner. So even my son, who is in class 10, tells me that I will have the same biscuit what you are having. They are better than what he used to eat, those Jim Jams and all that. He started eating them. It's not, I didn't force him. I think it's the amount of sugar intake is reducing across the segment.
That's true. I think 5 रसगुल्ले के बजाय आप 2 खाइए.
No, I used to be the one in school who used to have 80, so...
Okay. Secrets are coming out. Final last words, Vinesh.
I think everybody has said a bit. If really people are going to stop eating desserts, I might have to start singing. But
well, I do both. So I sing and I eat a lot of desserts. I'm looking forward to the desserts tonight, actually.
But it's very interesting to see the shift and the ones that people want these days. We've just recently opened an ice cream store. We have a whole bunch of varieties of ice cream. We have the sugar-free range. We have a high-protein range. We have the indulgent range. And then it gives you an option to come and indulge in the mood that you're in, right? It's being able to have that option as a consumer, and as pastry chefs, that's what we want to do.
Great, thank you very much. I think that was a very insightful panel. There will always be the debate of sugar versus non-sugar. But I think that percentage, like he said, from 10 can be 15, what Ajay said. But I think it's mainly a big city phenomenon. I think in the smaller cities, people still love their lassis and their jalebis and everything the way it is. A big round of applause. These guys are fantastic. Like I said, the Cholet panel that we have today. Come, let's turn around and take a selfie. Chalo. हाँ अरे मैं सर आपको तो आइए पीछे with the audience, yeah. Come on in, you got to fit in. Sorry, everyone. Pankaj, is everyone the chef? Oh, Gabbar. Thank you. नहीं आपको नहीं लेना था हमें. हाँ, sorry, Raji, you were not a part of that pick, yeah. But thank you very much. Thank you.